Hello again, everyone. It's your man, Cowboy Star, coming back at you, and I'd like to thank you all for watching, commenting, and most of all, subscribing to Cowboy Star. I thank all of you that already have done so. Um, Not too happy about this pick. The Cowboys picked last night at 24. In case you've been living underneath a rock and didn't watch the NFL draft, the Dallas Cowboys have selected offensive tackle Tyler Smith out of Fresno. He's a big dude, man. He's about 6'5", 320 pounds. Uh, he's primarily an offensive tackle. The Cowboys are not going to use him at offensive tackle. He'll probably start day one at left guard beside Tyron Smith. He is more than likely the heir apparent to Tyron Smith in a few years when Tyron decides to hang it up. But the draft did fall kind of funky for the Cowboys. All the good receivers were taken before we got to 24. Didn't look like the Cowboys were attempting at all to move up. Wish they would have because Kenyon Green, he was gone to the Texans. Penning was gone. Cross was gone. All the good offensive linemen that are better than the one we drafted were pretty much already gone, except one Tyler Linderbaum, center out of Iowa, who I would have taken him over this cat here. But according to Stephen Jones, who was on 105.3 The Fan today, he said the reason why they didn't take the center, even though he was a good center and probably would have been the center for the next 10 years, is that they wanted somebody that had position flex, which means, can play more than one position. They felt like the value was there with Smith because he could play guard or tackle rather than just the center that could only play center. So uh, that's a kind of a vague way to look at it when you've got a center of that caliber. But hey, you know how the Cowboys do. They're going to go the way they want to go, and that's just the way it is. Jerry Jones claims that this guy was at the top of their board, which I find that kind of hard to believe too. Don't believe that for 1 minute, but you know how Jerry is. Just like he did, talked about the other day about Randy Gregory, saying that he could have had Randy Gregory, but he said El Paso. In other words, he just didn't want him because of all the issues that he's had, the availability issues, and Randy didn't want to sign that clause in his contract about the availability. So he said no way. He says he wasn't going to sign him. But as it turned out, I think it was Randy that didn't want to sign with the Cowboys. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the Cowboys, this guy could be a bust for all we know. Another Taco Charlton, who we selected in the first round in 2017, that ended up being a bust, and we ended up trading him. But I just hope and pray that this guy is a player and he can turn out as they think he's going to turn out. He does. He is good at run blocking. Not too sure about his pass blocking, but he did stand out there. He has the measurables. He's young. He has length. He has size. That's his positives, but his skills are just not there totally yet. He's still raw, and he has a default mechanism to hold. Well, we just got rid of Connor Williams for all that holding. So now we've got another guy that's prone to holding, and we're going to have to coach him up. We're going to have to get him ready to play in the NFL. There's a big difference in playing in college and playing in the NFL, and he's fixing to find out. He's a local guy. He's from Fort Worth, I believe, and he went to Fresno. So y'all know as much about him as I do. I mean, I never had even heard of this guy. In fact, I looked on Dane Brugler's board, and he ranked him as number 70, 70th best player in the draft. So here we are. We drafted him in the first round. So it's going to be a crapshoot, folks, as to whether he makes this or breaks us. So we'll see what happens with Tyler Smith. Looks like we're going to have a little problem with the names on the back of the jerseys, because we have a Tyron Smith and we have a Tyler Smith now, and they both play right next to each other. So I don't know how they're going to write it on the back of his jersey. Hopefully he'll have a little bit different. His number won't be real close to 77, which is Tyron Smith's number. So that ought to be interesting too. But there were some other good players that the Cowboys could have selected instead of this guy, even though they may not have been offensive linemen. I mean, we got 8 more picks, and we picked, in the second, third rounds today. Remains to be seen who the Cowboys are going to go after. Is it going to be a wide receiver? Is it going to be a defensive edge rusher, a defensive lineman? Remains to be seen what they're going to do. But last night, there were some really quality players that the Cowboys could have drafted instead of Tyler Smith. In the names of Devin Lloyd, linebacker, we could have got him. He was still there. He got picked after we picked. Devontae Wyatt is who I would have took. He's a defensive lineman. He's the best defensive lineman, in my opinion, on the board that was left. George Karlaftis was still there. Who is a good edge rusher. I don't know why in the world they didn't select him. I mean, if you can't get the offensive lineman that you really want at the time, go ahead and strengthen your defense, I mean, we already got a pretty good defense, but no, they wanted to settle for this guy, so it's kind of up in the air with him. Daxton Hill, safety, was still on the board. That would have been a good pick for the Cowboys, but you know how they feel about safeties. They're always the last position that they go for some odd reason. They just don't want to. They don't want to put no high draft picks on safeties or free agents. So all the good receivers that were in the draft, Olave and Grant and all those good receivers, they were all snagged up before the Cowboys got to their pick. So, man, it was just kind of bunk the way the draft fell. It wasn't good for the Cowboys, and they ended up reaching for this guy. So it remains to be seen. Thank God the good news is we have 8 more picks left in the draft, so maybe we can have a better day today. I hope it falls a little better for the Cowboys. So be sure and tune in to the draft tonight. It ought to be interesting. And I'll get on here as soon as I find out who the Cowboys have selected. With that being said, I appreciate y'all. If y'all would subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you all next time. I'm out.